Taking that next level. He says he's coachable, but we're not quite sure. Troy, are we on your last hope? Have we finally found someone to help you?
Hey, if Eric can't do it, I'm in big trouble. Okay, this is the guy. This is the man right here.
What's up?
All right, so. We're here with Eric Worre, so I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to ask a couple questions. So one of the things is, we're Eric Worre. For those of you who don't know who Eric, and you've been living under a rock, where you've been living on the moon if you don't know who Eric Worre is. We're at his beautiful house, met his family, his wife, everybody. Unbelievable. But Eric, here's the question I want to ask you is, you're considered the foremost top trainer in the entire world in this industry. And I know you're humble, but you absolutely are. When you think of this industry, there's no bigger name, in my opinion, than Eric Worre. And so you're not just training people that have made six figures, multiple six figures. You're training people that have made seven figures and eight figures. They come to you for advice and training to sharpen their skill. Did you ever think that you'd be in that position ever?
You know, probably not. I mean, when I first got started, I just wanted to make some money to be able to pay the bills in network marketing, right? And I got myself to the top of my company, and I got to $1 million a year, and that was really cool. When Network Marketing Pro happened about 10 years ago, as kind of a way to give back to this profession that's given so much to me, and GoPro came out and all that, and what ended up happening is, I started to have a view of the world that nobody else has. Nobody. I see all the companies. I see all the tactics. I see all the leaders. I see the products that are working. I see the tools that are working. I see the recognition programs that are working. I see the ones that aren't. Now, everybody else is kind of in their silo, stuck in their thing. And because I'm like Switzerland, right? I'm neutral. I'm friends with maybe 500 different $1 million a year earners, and they can tell me their real stuff. And from that real stuff, I can become more valuable offering advice to somebody else. Or when companies come to me, I learn from that experience, and I'm able to offer advice to other companies. So it was never part of a master plan, or I never thought of it that way, but the thing that gives me most joy in my life is contribution. If I can contribute, I'm happy. Growth and contribution, those two things. And I have to have both. If I'm not growing but I'm contributing, I feel restless. If I'm contributing and not growing, I feel restless. Maybe I said that the same both times. But in any case, the reason why I enjoy leadership coaching so much, I enjoy a brand new person just joined, come on and read GoPro, let's get you started on this adventure and help you develop the mindset and the skills and strategy necessary to build a career, right? But if I can help a leader, if I can help $1 million earner, they'll go change 1 million people's lives. So now I get leverage on contribution. See what I'm saying? If I contribute 1% here, it can turn into 1,000% over there. So I'm like, pfft. So leadership fires me up. Leadership development, leadership coaching, mentoring, that friendship that comes and trust that comes from a real, I know how to call bullshit on stuff that's not real. And I know how to challenge a top leader's mindset if their mindset's screwed up, or if they're entitled, or if they got lazy, or if they're stuck in their excuses, or I can say stuff that their company owner can't say to them. And their peers, their upline or downline can't say. The crossline certainly can't say. Somebody in another company can't say, but I can say it. Because I earned the trust from experience in order to be able to do it. But the biggest thing that fires me up is an investment in somebody like you is just multiplied and multiplied. I get to see the first ripple. You drop the rock in the pond, I get to see the first ripple, maybe 2, maybe 3, but it's gonna go 500 ripples that I never get to see, but I still was a part of.
Well, you're a refreshing outside look,
yeah,
right?
Fun.
I mean, and you've affected so many lives. It has to make you feel good. I mean, Jesus came to serve, not to be served. So you're out there serving everybody because of your content. You can find you on social media. You can find you everywhere. But you're also training the leaders so they can go up and multiply it.
We got to raise the standards.
Where do they find Eric Worre? When they find, where's the best place for people to find Eric Worre and get
Find me on
information on you?
social. Yeah, find me on social, networkmarketingpro.com, or find me on social, just at Eric Worre on any platform.
Because
you can find it. Yeah.
One of the things that excite me about Eric Worre is one of the tips that I've always given for success. I want to pick your brain on this, okay? Because this is what they want to hear you. They do not want to hear me.
No, it's fine.
But I always said that if you want to be successful in anything, you want to study the most successful people and mimic and mirror. You had a chance to spend a lot of time with Tony Robbins, and he talks about mirroring people. And find successful people, study them, read what they read, do what they do. So what are the tips that you can give to someone that's brand new, looking at this industry for the first time? What are some of the tips that you can give them, and the veterans too?
Well, it's two different answers.
Yeah. I'm making them work. Come on.
The beginner, get GoPro,
Yeah.
read it, and then work your face off for about 3 years. And just don't look right and don't look left. And fail your way forward. Keep making mistakes, keep figuring it out, keep facing your fear, keep developing your mindset and skills. Develop the skills will build confidence, and you'll take more action if you have them. If you don't have the skills, you're just luck and timing and positioning, it's not going to last. But be willing to work your butt off. I don't know anybody that took less than 3 years to turn a corner unless they just caught a bottle rocket. You know, they caught something that was just lightning in a bottle. But then they're like, they're almost more insecure about their success when that happens, because they don't feel like they deserved it, like they earned it. So almost always it comes back down to the level of person that they are. So you can't underestimate hard work in your early years.
I love that.
Really big. Now leaders, it's a different thing. I mean, I'll give you a little formula, okay?
Okay.
0 to 100,000 is just pure grit, hard work. You almost very little duplication. It's just all you, okay? But you can't just keep doing that. From 100 to 250 or so, you got to incorporate duplication into your business, okay? You can't just be all about you. 250 to 500, you got to incorporate some promotion necessary. You got to learn how to promote a campaign, a launch, a product, a system, an event, right? So hard work, duplication, promotion, and then leadership development's the top. That's the top of the food chain. To get to $1 million plus and keep it, you have to have an ability to sort from the existing people in your team and find out who potentially can be a leader and push them and mentor them until they become one.
Is that the biggest challenge for people to duplicate their leadership? Is that what you're finding in the industry?
Well, it's the most valuable thing. It's the most valuable thing. I mean, we're pretty good as a profession at selling. Pretty good. We're okay at recruiting. We start to fall apart when it comes to duplication and systems. And leadership development, we suck.
Why do you think that is?
Because most people just do what was done to them, which wasn't much.
Right.
You know, they're just like, nobody helped me. I guess you got to go do it on your own. And there's no plan for it. You know, so it's just been our culture. It's more short-term hit, short-term hit, short-term hit. That's kind of been the culture versus long-term career path. The reason why we called our company Network Marketing Pro is nobody thought of this as a profession. It was just a thing. It was a deal. It was our current company, whatever. This is our project. Not a profession, not a career. Like, I'm going to grow up and become a network marketing professional. Who was thinking that? So we started that language about 10 years ago, and I think a lot more people today are, yes, I'm a nurse, but I'm also a network marketing professional. Yes, I own my own small business, but I'm also a network marketing professional. Yes, I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I'm also a network marketing professional. You see, I mean, there's been a pride that's slowly developing, and it's early. You know, if you feel like it's early or late in network marketing, it's early in network marketing, very early. We're still in the garage. We're still just figuring our stuff out. It's like franchising in its first year. It has not standardized and professionalized like it's going to. So the timing is really good for people to get involved. I mean, people think it's late. It's not even close.
Let's talk about, I think you're fortunate too. I think you'll agree with this, is that you have a big event coming up, which is a pro. It's really you're training the trainers. So you're training some of the top trainers literally in the world of network marketing. So I want to start there. And do you find that because you're able to get around all these top leaders, they come to learn from you, but are you learning from them as well?
Oh, always. Any teacher learns from the process of teaching and from their students. The feedback gives them some things. But plus I also work with top leaders with like some different mastermind groups, and some of the strategies of what they're doing is so innovative. Like some other trainers are pretty kind of stuck in their scripts. You know what I mean?
They're not adapting.
Yeah, they're stuck in their memes. It's like they're like really strong about like never changing, something like that. But there's things changing.
Yeah.
The world's changing.
Yeah.
Technology's changing everything. Our reach is unprecedented. Now we have to find ways to do that that makes it sticky as well. But our reach, to ignore that is insanity. So finding the balance between those things, and one thing that I feel like I'm pretty good at is having an awareness that allows me to see things that are invisible to other people. Like I'll watch a leader do something, nobody else saw it.
Experience.
But everybody else could have seen it.
Right.
But I like, wow, look what they just did there. They had a problem situation. Look how they solved it. Nobody else noticed. But I collect those little ideas. I have a whole playbook of them, of stuff that works. Little things. I'll give you an example. Top earner in my first company that I was with. I went and watched him do a series of meetings in Detroit, Michigan over the course of like 4 days, okay? He did like 4 meetings a day. And at every meeting, he found somebody in the crowd and he pulled him down the hallway, okay? And I couldn't hear what he did at first, and I asked him that night, I said, what are you doing? He said, Eric, the only reason to have a meeting like this is to get rid of all the people not ready to make a decision and find one person that is. And I said, well, what do you say to him? I said, can you come here for a second? Brings him down the hall. He says, I have an intuition about you. And I heard him do it for the rest of the week. I see something in you that you've maybe even been hiding to the rest of the world. You've got something powerful in you, don't you? The person will say, yeah, I do. I said, well, I've got an intuition that we could do something special together. What do you think? And he made sure every single one of those people signed up. Every single one of those people were the best leader candidates. Nobody else saw him do it for the rest of the week. He's never trained on that in his life.
Wow.
But that little thing, just collect that little thing. Look, and he said, watch, next time I'm going to take the most negative person in the room and I'm going to do it with them. Because I said, what do you do? He said, I normally look for the most positive sparkle in their eye. He said, but it doesn't matter. And there was a guy like sitting in the front row like this, just sour.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, he's not going to pick that guy. He picks that guy. And he brings that guy down the hall and he says, I know you put on this big act, but you've got power inside of you, don't you? And the guy said, well, yeah, I do. He said, well, what do you think? Can you get past all this other stuff and all these other yahoos and the two of us, create a dynasty here? What do you think? He said, well, I've been waiting. Let's go. Everybody like, what? He took the most negative guy in the world from this one simple little thing. Now I have thousands of those that I've collected over the years that nobody else even saw happen. So anyway, I don't know if I was blessed with that awareness or if it God-given, I don't know, but I have it.
Probably a combination.
Maybe.
So before we close this out, and I want to talk about 2 big events that you're having.
Shoot.
But before I do, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
So it's kind of a series of questions with my ADD. I know we were talking about it upstairs. I got lost like in a closet of yours or something with so
Yes,
big.
yes.
But so here's the question is, On the distributor side and on the company side, what suggestions could you make for distributors? What suggestions do you think the biggest mistakes or the biggest recommendations you can make for a company, for the distributors, and then how they can work together as distributors and a corporate office staff? What recommendations would you make? Because you train companies and distributors.
Startup, stable, what? What kind?
Let's say, well, in the middle, the ongoing. What do they have to do ongoing? What do you recommend how distributors work with corporate office?
It's a dance.
Okay.
The distributors are never going to understand how difficult it is for corporate to do its job.
Yeah.
Corporate's never going to understand fully how difficult it is and how valuable it is for the distributors to do their job. The best case scenario is to have an ownership or leadership that has a heart for and an appreciation for what the field does. Doesn't need to take the oxygen of the field, but understand it has an appreciation for it, and then provides the support systems necessary for the field to be able to leverage the opportunity. And
you train on this.
Yes,
Yeah,
and then the field's job is to support the company as it goes through all that stuff, give it some grace, to, and not be too judgmental as it's trying to figure out. Its navigation, and bring the promotion, bring the sales, bring the revenue, and do it with as little drama as possible. Drama is not good for anybody, and ego is the enemy. And my advice in the field and in the corporate is when a monster shows up in the organization, in whatever form, kill the monster when it's a baby. The little egg hatches and the dragon pokes its head out.
I like that one. I'm going to steal that.
Sledgehammer. Bam. Do not let it grow wings. Do not let it learn how to breathe fire, because most people just ignore the monsters because they don't want to seem like they're overreacting. And then the monster gets more and more strength, and pretty soon the monster's running the organization one way or the other, or intimidating it one way or the other, or creating dysfunction one way or the other, just because people just didn't want to hurt somebody's feelings when it was little. You got to challenge bad behavior early in all forms. But at the end of the day, you just got to find people that you feel like you can work with long term.
It's kind of a marriage.
Edify them, yes. Edify them, support them, encourage them, and over communicate. I mean, Marina and I talk about this when we teach people how to be a power couple or how to have harmony in the home, is radical communication, honest, straightforward, not managing another person, trust through your actions, through your words, through your culture, and respect. If you have those three things in between company and field, you're going to win. You're going to win. If those fall, that's going to be your biggest challenge, and you're going to have to get back to communication, trust, and respect in order to be able to build a stronger foundation. You know what I mean? Momentum is only going to take you so far, and then you have to build culture. Culture is the most important thing.
Yeah.
If you don't have a strong culture, doesn't matter how many good products have you seen destroyed by a bad culture?
Yeah, it happens.
How many good companies, good comp plans have you seen destroyed by a bad culture? Big money behind something that was destroyed by a bad culture. Culture is the thing. If you have the culture, you'll be able to withstand all this other stuff. If you don't, or if your culture is flawed, adversity becomes a really, really scary thing. When you have a good culture, adversity is just another day.
Take it. Yeah,
no problem.
Well, obviously, people have been watching you, so they're ready to do more. So we're going to wrap it up here. So you have two events.
Yeah.
And we're a firm believer in investment in knowledge pays the highest interest. You want to go out and mingle with the money. Success leaves clues. So tell us about your two events. You have one coming this week, which I'm going to attend. You're going to allow me to come in. I'm going to take notes. Right. Okay.
We have a Beyond Leadership event that we do once a year. Next year's going to be in our home here, maxed at 100 people. It's a 5-day event, deep dive. I don't recommend it for newbies. I recommend it for people who either have some experience or have some earnings, because it'll be too much for a brand new person. They just need to focus on hard work. Go read GoPro and go to work. Go do what you need to do. Follow what your upline tells you. So it's not for tourists. The ticket isn't free, but it's 5 days, hardcore. That's once a year. Next year's, or next week is coming fast, but a year from now, you can find out about that. If you can get into that group of 100 before it sells out, I would recommend it. And then GoPro Recruiting Mastery. That's December 11th through the 13th. It's our last one we're ever doing.
And what are some of the things they're going to learn at GoPro?
Oh my God. Skills, strategy, mindset. You'll see a big picture. You'll have a great time. You'll see what network marketing is all about around the world. You'll get an international flavor. You'll be inspired on a very high level that is different because this is a peer level industry event,
Right.
not just a company event. You know what I mean? Company events are great, and if you have to pick between one or the other, always pick the company event. The company event is mandatory.
Right.
Okay. This event is on top of a cherry on top. Once a year to kind of give yourself a tune-up, close out the year, start the new year strong. I would recommend it. It's at MGM Garden Arena. We're going to be sold out. I don't know, 11, 12,000 people in there. It's going to be spectacular.
That's
it's going to be a
awesome.
celebration of our profession.
His name is Eric Worre. He is the king of network marketing. He's the best trainer, the best, coach. I think you are. And you put people together and you put people in the same room. GoPro is the event. If you can make it in December, give yourself that Christmas present because, an investment in knowledge really does pay the highest interest. And thank you, Eric. I
Appreciate you,
it.
brother.
All right, man.
All right.
Thanks a lot. Eric Worre.
See ya.